Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we're going to be focusing on the Book of Boba Fett and more. As always my dear friends, before we dive into it, please may I ask you to hit that big red subscribe button if you've not done so, and also be sure to give that bell a good old tickle to be alerted each and every time that I post new videos. So without much further ado and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we have two big pieces of exciting news for the Book of Boba Fett. One which involves directing and the other which involves the cinematographer. And afterwards guys, I'm going to be revealing a big scoop that I teased a couple of months ago. Let's start with the articles. This first article is from the Ronin and they say the Book of Boba Fett directing team expected to include Extraction's Sam Hargrave. The next big live action Star Wars project from Lucasfilm will be the Book of Boba Fett, starring Temuera Morrison as Boba, Ming-Na as Fennec Shand, with executive producers including Robert Rodriguez, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Bryce Dallas-Howard is also expected to direct an episode or two. The Ronin is hearing that The Mandalorian Season 2's second unit director Sam Hargrave has been given one episode to direct on the Book of Boba Fett, and could also still be doing second unit stuff throughout the series as well. Sam Hargrave recently directed Chris Hemsworth in the action-packed Netflix film Extraction. His other work includes Atomic Blonde, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Captain America Civil War, Deadpool 2 and The Accountant. The Book of Boba Fett has already wrapped up and will debut on Disney Plus sometime this December. We should expect a trailer at some point between now and the fall. Now for the second piece of the Book of Boba Fett news, this comes also from the Ronin, and it's that cinematographer Dean Cundey has worked on the Book of Boba Fett. It's now been officially revealed by American cinematographer that legendary director of photography Dean Cundey has shot multiple episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. Now this is the same outlet that revealed that Season 3 of The Mandalorian has already started production. Cundey's fantastic run of credits includes Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, Big Trouble in Little China, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Apollo 13, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Hook, Casper, The Flintstones and Roadhouse. So what does this tell us about the Book of Boba Fett? Well, first of all, it's very clear that visually and in terms of directorship, it might just be the best Star Wars series we've had so far, right up there with The Mandalorian. Dean Cundey in particular has an incredible resume under his belt as the lead cinematographer on some of the best fantasy and sci-fi franchises of all time. So we are definitely in for something special. So now, let's talk about the big scoop. According to my source, the Book of Boba Fett is going to feature the Mos Eisley Cantina prominently, as well as some well-known background aliens. Now this isn't too surprising since Boba Fett is already on Tatooine at Jabba's palace, but knowing that we're going to be getting scenes inside the cantina is a great callback to A New Hope and The Mandalorian as well. We can't forget that the cantina featured in 2 episodes of Mando, once in Chapter 5 and then again in Chapter 10. I've also been told that we're going to be getting more Tusken Raiders as well as Jawas. In this way, the show is going to feel as Star Warsy as it gets. Among the background characters, we have a hammerhead and also what's been described as a whale-like creature. So that, my friends, is the scoop, and I'll let you discuss it in the comments down below. Now I want to stay on the subject of the Book of Boba Fett just for a moment, because something that one of my patrons pointed out is that some of the rumours for various shows might have been mixed up. For example, there was a rumour a while back that stated that Naboo was going to appear in The Mandalorian Season 3. Now that we know filming for Obi-Wan Kenobi is well underway, it's more likely that the planet of Naboo is going to feature in that show instead. So how does this affect the Book of Boba? Well, some of the rumours for other shows might have been in relation to Boba, but were confused for The Mandalorian. For example, the next appearance of Luke Skywalker, and even the rumour that Chewbacca and Han Solo are going to appear. We do know for sure that a different Wookiee, most likely Black Krrsantan, is going to appear in the Book of Boba, but Han Solo and Chewie have also been rumoured for a Mandalorian spin-off for quite some time. Most people thought it was going to be for The Mandalorian Season 3, but there is a chance it's going to be for the Book of Boba Fett. Particularly in light of the War of the Bounty Hunters and War of the Bounty Hunters crossover event, Luke, Han and Chewie make a lot of sense in the Book of Boba Fett. My personal prediction for Han Solo is that it's going to be in flashback form, where Boba carries Han in carbonite to Jabba's palace between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. This way, there's a direct tie-in with the original trilogy and War of the Bounty Hunters. It also means they don't have to rely Brian Alden Ehrenreich to reprise the role, but I could be wrong and a live-action Han Solo could be on the brink. But what do you guys make of all of this? We have so much to look forward to, and it's just under 5 months until we get our next installment of the Mandalorian story through the Book of Boba Fett. Now we also have to remember that on August the 25th, we have the Luke Skywalker behind the scenes special of the Mandalorian Season 2, and hopefully in that little documentary, we'll get more insight on when Luke is going to appear next. Maybe not, but Mark Hamill might reveal some more details. So now, my dear friends, we're going to move on and talk about The Bad Batch. Just as I do every week, we're going to be looking at the episode guide for the most recent episode. Episode 13, Infested. Now, as I said in the full episode breakdown, it's not been my favourite episode, but Dave Filoni always has a plan. And now that we're coming into the final 3 episodes, I think things are really going to pick up with the rumoured very long 2-parter for the final 2 episodes in August. We don't know the episode titles for those 2, but this week's upcoming episode 14 is going to be called War Mantle, so you basically know that stuff is really going to go down. I think at this stage I'm in the group of fans that agree we are going to get a season 2 because you can't really wrap things up in 3 episodes, but hopefully we get another 70-minute special for the final episode. So with all of that said, let's take a look at this episode gallery. There aren't too many big revelations and it's not as interesting as normal, but it's worth taking a look nonetheless. So the first slide shows Roland Durand holding Ruby, the reptile creature treasured by Roland, first appeared in the 7th episode, Battle Scars. In that episode, the Bad Batch was sent to retrieve the rare and valuable lizard. Next up, they talk about what was probably the most interesting part of the episode, the Pike Syndicate, who debuted in Star Wars The Clone Wars and have since appeared across various forms of Star Wars storytelling. So the 4 examples they give are The Clone Wars, Darth Maul #2, which is the comic, Solo a Star Wars Story where they looked considerably different, and of course most recently The Bad Batch. Now any appearance of the Pike Syndicate, and I did say this in my full episode breakdown, really invokes the image of Darth Maul, so we might see him in the series soon, but I think it's too late for this season. So next we have Ketch and Bolo playing a new card game in this episode. So in the full episode breakdown I said that they were playing Sabacc because it looks very similar, but from what this episode guide is saying, it's a brand new game that features a shape and print unique from other card games seen in Star Wars. These 2 characters are pretty funny, I think they're like the comic relief, one of which is an Ithorian and the other is a Weequay. So that's basically it for this episode guide, and like I say guys, there wasn't too much to it, but it is worth going through because sometimes you do get little nuggets of information. Hopefully in War Mantle we'll get a lot more and the episode guide will be more in depth. Something really interesting in the concept gallery of this episode was of course the Earlings, the wasp-like creatures who we haven't seen before in any Star Wars media. We also see some really interesting concept art for a hive of Earlings, and I guess what we get away from this, even if we don't get much info, is that Lucasfilm have been doing a lot for world building, which I really appreciate. But what do you guys think, and what did you make of everything we spoke about today? We spoke about the Book of Boba, we touched upon Luke Skywalker, and of course the Bad Batch. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new and a huge welcome if you are, and if you guys get any value whatsoever in my channel, please consider becoming a patron. The link is in the description down below. We have 5 tiers, and over on Patreon you get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube, and that includes my Forgotten Characters series, Star Wars Planets, my megasodes, and much more. Otherwise, my dear friends, as always, I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.